make a quick video to explain, for those of you who are maybe beginners in yoga or who haven't tried my classes before, to explain my key concepts, how I teach, what I care about, and what I'm going to ask you to do, just to have a taste of what we're doing and where our mind is. So one of the big fundamental characteristics of my teaching is I care a lot about active range of motion and mobility. I want your body to be functional. I want you to be doing movements where you're very aware, where you're doing them slowly, controlled, you're engaging all of the muscles that you need to engage. So I'm going to insist on that. I want to bring flexibility into your body, but I also want to bring stability, because it's actually really important that your joints are not only able to access a certain range, but that they can command that movement when you need it. Again, thinking of function. A lot of the times when your muscles feel tight or stiff and you feel like you want to stretch them because you feel like they're tight, they're actually tight because they're weak, because they can't work properly. And that's what makes muscles really tight, that weakness. So we need to bring strength into those muscles as well as flexibility. In my stretches, you will see that I do a lot of isometric stretches, which are stretches where you are pulling and pushing at the same time. So there's no motion, but there's a lot of action going on. You won't see much, but you will feel the strength in the stretch. So in my pranayama stretch, for instance, where I'm walking you through a number of stretching positions, that is what we're going to be working on. Now, one thing that I do during the class is maintain a pace. So I want your breathing to be relaxed. One of the characteristics of yoga, the main characteristic for me that defines it versus any other type of exercise, is that it feels warm, it feels nurturing. So that has to come across. We're going to do the things that we do in a very light-hearted, sense of humor way. We're not going to stress, we're going to try to follow our rhythm, and we're going to breathe in and out continuously throughout. Sometimes, for example, in my vinyasa classes, we will have a beat. You will be following that beat with your breath. And other times, for example, in my stretch pranayama, there will be a guided breath work. So I will tell you when to breathe in, when to hold, when to breathe out. So we will have like a pranayama session. Breath is always really important. Why? Helps you to get into a natural high, for one, and it also relaxes your nervous system, so it makes you more able to cope with stress outside of the class. Now, one thing that I want us to be aware of all of the time is the posture that we are usually in is one of flexion. So generally you have your legs on flexion, which means like this. Your hip flexors are weak because you're never using them. You're always kind of shortening them. This is them extended and this is them shortened. We usually have them shortened. The neck, if you observe yourself, you usually have your neck a little bit forward. So during my classes, I want us to try to push the neck a little bit backwards so that we have a lift at the back of your neck. And I'm going to be saying that a lot. Lift at the back of your neck. Extension at the top of your back. So you want to work with the scapulas. Bring the scapulas together. That's the best thing to command that movement, to open your chest rather than pushing your chest forward. Just think of bringing your scapula together. One thing that's going to help you with this is to do a plank properly. So to do a plank properly, and many people don't know this, just push, don't overthink it. You're literally trying to push the ground against you. Don't even think about your back, just push yourself. And if you push, you will feel that your abs engage. You have a straight line from the crown of your head to your heels, and you're trying to keep that line. So the neck has to be in alignment with your spine, just natural alignment. Don't think about it too much. Don't even think about the scapulas here. Just think of pushing. And if you push the ground against you, you will see and you will feel that there's a slight curve in the top of your back. That's fine because we're in a plank position and that's how you do plank. If you don't know how to do this or you don't understand from the floor, come to a wall. Push against the wall, you push against the wall, and you feel what you're feeling here. So you will feel really the same thing, just less weight on it, less weight bearing. But here you can do several experiments. If you're not sure where you are in plank, just push and you will feel your body naturally making that movement. It's a really healthy movement. I really like to get you into plank. Now, while you're in plank and in many positions where I want you to keep the spine neutral, to put the tailbone in slightly. So usually you are used to more of this position, relaxed position, and like this, engaging the abs, pulling the abs in towards the spine, and even engaging the glutes actually. You pull the tailbone in, and this is the position from which we're gonna work on. Now, the intention with the postures is to feel something. I want you to feel like you're working. I want your muscles to actually work. I want you to be in your edge. I don't want you to try to get to a certain place. So for example, if we are in a forward fold, you can always bend your knees. If you just get into a forward fold, imagine if I couldn't reach with my hands the floor. I can reach because I have really long arms. It really depends on your body shape, length of your limbs, basically. So I'm pushing with the soles of my foot towards the floor. And here, I just want to feel a stretch on the back of my legs, and I want to make sure I'm hinging forward. So rather than curving, I'm hinging with my pelvis forward. And that is my intention. It doesn't matter where my arms go. And this happens in many postures where it just really doesn't matter where my arms get to. I want to feel the posture where I have to feel it, which is, for example, in Paschimottanasana, I want to feel it here. I want the pelvis to fold forward. There are many positions where I'm going to ask you to fold the pelvis forward like this, and it doesn't really matter where you get to. It just matters what you're feeling. If you are engaging the right muscles, I'm going to ask you to extend upwards because, as we said, we usually curve down. So I'm just going to try to compensate that by doing a lot of extension. Have fun with it, make it a party. If you are stretching by yourself, for example, before a class, put on some music, wear what you want, and just make it fun and make it entertaining. And I'm gonna have loads of yoga parties for you to join. I'm going to be adding variety. At the moment, I have my signature pranayama stretch, which, as I said, is a stretch with breath work involving several yoga poses. And if you apply all of these concepts, you're going to feel a really huge difference, and you're going to see a really huge difference in your body, even doing things that don't feel like working out, and you get just such a powerful high. You can sign up to my classes at iambarbarella.com. Thank you for coming.